Ho-jae can't believe his eyes as he sees the bulletin board having only him left as the contestant alive. Panic and shock befalls him as all of his friends are dead and he has a hard time accepting that. After a while of misery, his head finally starts accepting the situation and he comes to realize that it is kind of understandable that they couldn't survive since the attacks were brutal and Kyung-nim and Min-shik didn't even know they could be back to the lobby, and for Soo-ha, her skills weren't strong enough to survive the attack either. Ho-jae sits in the lobby for a while trying to control his tears and accept that all his friends are gone. After being considerably calm, he checks his window to see his stats and notices a little chance in his stats with all the passive skills he gained. He then checks the amount of time left is 19 hours and he decides to win this tutorial level with a new determination for the sake of his friends. As Ho-jae comes back to the game grounds, he notices how the blood stains have disappeared, showing him that the game has reset just like in video games. Wanting to make sure of another factor, he awaits the first arrow and just like he expected, the first arrow aimed for his right ankle, just like before. For confirmation, he notices if the second arrow will aim for his chest, and turns out he figured it out right. From researching and script writing to editing and mastering our best manhwa review channel, I will work hard to roll out the highest quality manhwa entertainment videos twice or more a week. If you like what I do here, please consider supporting the channel. To learn more about how to support the channel, check out the link in the description box down below, and if you can't give or simply don't even feel like it, that's okay too. I am just happy you're here. Thank you so much. The pattern of the attacks remains the same every time the game is reset, so this time he knows where the target of the arrows will be and can save himself. The only disadvantage he didn't think of was that the shield is worn out and it broke with the blows of arrows, and as soon as the shield broke, Ho-jae has a hard time blocking the attacks with his sword and starts getting hit.
Oh my god!
Before he can go back to the portal, he is hurt so bad that he thinks he might die there until a window appears showing how he leveled up in the game, increasing his active and passive skills. As Ho-jae reached level 1, his shield got restored, the stabbed arrows disappeared and he healed quickly, showing him that the other way to be healed is by going up the levels in the game. He realizes that whatever happens to him in the game other than dying, he'll get experience points improving his status, so if he escapes attacks and goes back to the lobby to appear multiple times in the round, he's gonna gain more experiment points. He smiles sadistically knowing that getting hit and increasing risk to his life will also help him level up, and even though it's painful and sounds stupid, it's a fair plan since he's gonna recover anyway. As Ho-jae proceeds ahead, he noticed a window saying that the god of adventure has taken an interest in him. As Ho-jae proceeds, he gets hit multiple times with blood oozing out of multiple parts of his body, making him wonder what use his pain tolerance skills of level 4 are when it hurts like hell to him, but he is still going strong with his plan of taking repeated hits to level up and get stronger. He sprints through the way using his sprint and perception enhancement skills and taking down the arrows that come his way. He finally finds the bows attacking him and destroys them, moving further ahead in the game. He takes a short break, analyzing how in 28 days, his level moved up fairly and Hagen's skills good enough with that since he ran for 15 hours without getting tired. He gets himself some water from inventory and wonders who this god of adventures is. He knows he needs to clear the first floor in 30 days since the penalty for failing remains unknown. Out of the 30, he has only 2 days left to clear the rest of the first floor, so he decides to move ahead, but with a lot of caution since he does not know what lies ahead and he hasn't figured all arrow trajectories yet. Knowing the path and traps ahead are gonna be different from the ones he passed, and his night vision and buff skills aren't working either. His sole reliance ahead are his sword, shield, and his abilities. As he runs ahead, multiple arrows are shot at him, some of which he dodges while some stab him, but a pain tolerance of level 8 makes it easier for him to endure the attacks. Ho-jae then sees the exit and dashes towards it, reaching a new place with a pond-like space in the center. As Ho-jae reaches it, he finally loses his strength and falls unconscious.
Now, I'm really mad!
Also, quick reminder as we are going through the recap, if you are new to the channel, some of you watching are not already subscribed, and if that's you and you want to guarantee you're always up to date with all good content like this, so feel free to hit that subscribe button and join us on the road to 1 million subs. And if you enjoy the video or if you found it interesting, let me know by dropping a like and comment on it as well, would be seriously appreciated. Let's continue. Ho-jae lies in the water there, trying to calm his nerves and rest a bit, but realizes he not only feels refreshed but all his wounds healed, and he recovered. He deems it must be the fountain of recovery that was mentioned on the bulletin board by one of the people from other difficulties. In one of the banters between different difficulty players on the bulletin board, someone mentioned that the bosses are similar on each difficulty level, and before the boss room, players are recovered through the fountain of recovery. Through reading through those conversations, he easily found the door to the boss room as well. He reaches the door and sees the option of does he wish to challenge, making him annoyed since why else would he be there. Ready to clear the first floor, Ho-jae opens the door where he is revealed with a room full of lava as floor and the boss Bao at the end of the room which he needs to destroy. Noticing the attacks of the Bao and barely dodging them, he realizes it isn't the boss for nothing and it's going to be very difficult to reach it without dying and defeat it. He wonders how he'd cross all that lava, but even with the confusion and nervousness, Ho-jae's determination does not falter, and he moves forward courageously, not ready to give up. He jumps through the rocks, moving forward when an arrow from the ceiling tries to strike him, but with his increased perception enhancement skill, he shields himself in time, saving his life. Scrutinizing the situation and his skills and level, the task seems doable to him, but not with ease since he's in hell difficulty. As he moves forward, the back of his shirt catches fire, burning him, and before he can do something about it, multiple arrows stab him in the back and on other parts of his body. Even his shield breaks with the blows of the arrow, putting him in excruciating pain and agony. He falls on his knees, panting and losing hope. As the Bao faces him, he thinks of how he knew from the beginning it's almost impossible to succeed the level. The faces of his dead friends appear in front of him while he thinks of how he only lived to game. He enjoyed it so much that it slowly became his quality and his source of pride and honor. But this pride was gone soon enough, and he started living a boring and empty life as a convenience store owner. But after entering this game, he felt pain, agony, and tiredness, but he never felt empty anymore. He felt like his life finally has a purpose once again, and his heart raced with each progression in the game and each pop-up on the window. Back in his life, he accepted reality with no resistance and retired as a pro gamer early, but this time he won't make the same mistake. All this thought process increases his determination towards the game and does not give up. Getting up with all his might and tearing down his burning shirt, Ho-jae sprints towards the Bao, dodging its attacks and bearing the pain of a brutal burn on his back. He jumps with all his strength, and even with the tutorial being too hard, he breaks the Bao and finally succeeds in clearing the first floor of the hell difficulty level of the tutorial world. In a bittersweet moment of relief, he remembers his friends and chants to them about finally clearing the first floor for them and himself. Ho-jae witnesses all the pop-ups of him earning reward points by passing the stage and getting 500 points gifted by the god of adventure. He got his wounds healed and even got a new strength, the spirit of the wind, and got his agility increased. As he wonders how he got all these but didn't level up, a portal appears to take him to the second floor of the game. He goes for it since staying there would be of no use either. As he passes the portal, he appears in beautiful scenery and not in the second floor lobby. He sees a girl standing at a little distance and approaches her, wondering who she is. The bunny-eared woman turns towards him and enthusiastically introduces herself as Kurakiri. A bit cautious, Ho-jae introduces himself, which makes the overdramatic woman laugh and make fun of his name. After calming down from her own amusement, she shares of being the administrator of hell difficulty of the game, and players can only talk to her after clearing the first floor. She's there to guide players with little stuff. Kurakiri tells Ho-jae that he now has access to the auction and store windows. The auction window can only be opened in waiting and residential areas, but the store window can be accessed easily, so Ho-jae tries that window. The store window has options to buy food, bedding, weapons, clothes, and even stuff like toys. Ho-jae starts looking for what he should buy and what not, which makes Kurakiri excited as she starts getting involved in his choices on what he should choose and what not. The bare-chested guy decided to buy a black and white tracksuit to complete his look, but his satisfaction is made limited by Kurakiri's judgmental look. As Ho-jae sits there for a while, he asks Kurakiri about what happens when a player fails to pass the floor in 30 days, upon which she replies that they get sent to the waiting room and the food from the inventory disappears, so they have to earn points to buy food. She shares how they don't feel hungry in the waiting room, but they get moved in 24 hours, so eventually will need food. Ho-jae asks what happens when they get moved as a follow-up question, but the dramatic administrator shuts him up, telling him she's only supposed to give advice to the players and not share more than what's allowed. She shares shadily that she only tells extra information to someone she favors or if they have some great potential or great accomplishments. Upon Ho-jae's curiosity, she tells him that she can share little stuff like guiding him on what items to buy for now or drop little hints, but can't answer big questions. Hence, she drops the last important hint to him that he should buy a lot of recovery potions since he's gonna be needing them. Ho-jae wonders if the theme of the second floor is recovery. Not being able to hold it, he drops one last question about what happens to people who die in the game. game. This leaves Kurikiri speechless and disturbed as she keeps looking at him, so Ho-jae decides to drop it. He then thanks her for all she did and decides to proceed to bid goodbye to his administrator. Ho-jae passes through the portal to enter the second floor lobby that looks and feels similar to the first floor one, meaning the features of both are the same. Since the first floor period hasn't ended yet, the timer still shows 43 hours left to it, but he has an option to initiate the second stage. He contemplates whether he should do it or not since he'll be getting additional rewards for it, but remembering the pain and exhaustion he went through, he decides to not overwork himself and wait for the second stage to start at its said time. He notices the bed and decides to do what anyone running around 29 days would, jump straight on it and dissolve in it. Ho-jae dozes off right away in the bed, waking up 12 hours later with a jolt, but his panic is calmed when he sees there remains time in the finishing of the first round. Ho-jae wonders how much he has changed since coming here, since the days of sitting around and drinking seem to be in the distant past. Playing this game reminds him of his days as a pro gamer where he used to invest his complete existence into training as hard as possible for every single match. He used to put everything on the line for every game, and now in this very practical game, he's put everything, even his life, on the line. Coming out of his moping, he checks his status and notices how he acquired an active skill of battle focus of level 7 where he can increase his battle focus at different degrees as well as increase his mental endurance. He realizes that it was a passive skill in the first stage and changed to an active skill now and does not even require mana, which means he can keep this skill activated for as long as his mind can handle it. Ho-jae feels excited to try it and starts testing it by training around, but with his mental strength, he falls panting and exhausted in only 5 minutes. He knows if he uses it anymore, he'll pass out, scaring him of mental exhaustion. Yet he decides to keep trying the skill and using it, since if he increases his level, then his mental stamina would increase as well. Ho-jae sits down and opens the auction window where players can buy and sell stuff, but in the weapons category, he only sees trash weapons, thinking it's probably because they only passed one stage yet. He sees one of the rewards being a cat collar with a bell, wondering how can one even call it a reward, and feeling content that protection of the spirit of wind is not a bad reward then. Similar to the first stage, the second stage also gives a 3-day break in the waiting area, so Ho-jae decides to work on his resistance skills and get information from the community board in the given time. But when he opens the community window, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to watch more videos like these, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to help the channel out. From researching and script writing to editing and mastering our best manhwa review channel, I will work hard to roll out the highest quality manhwa entertainment videos twice or more a week. If you like what I do here, please consider supporting the channel. To learn more about how to support the channel, check out the link in the description box down below, and if you can't give or simply don't even feel like it, that's okay too. I am just happy you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the next video.